Hello, greetings, my friends. This is Gilles Mansillon. I am called to come back and speak again. For it is a very powerful time. For it, and all I'm talking about is perspective, ideas, but they're coherent and they sound ideas. I do believe they're sound ideas, and so for it is a year that's going to be very shifting for all of us, and it's all about having the courage to listen to the heart and to let go of the mind, of the emotion, of the opinion, to listen that which the higher self wants to lead us to focus on truth rather than beliefs and illusions, and to follow our guiding star, the light that guides us, our angelic guardians. And so it's all about going to be about in terms of life, it's not going to be about quantity, it's going to be about quality. Same thing with relationships, not going to be about having 1,000 friends on Facebook. It's about having a handful of friends is better than, because even Descartes, the philosopher, was saying, if you have to in the 17th century, he was saying that if you have too many, or 18th century, 17th, 18th century, if you have too many friends, you're neglecting your real friends. And so just well, I'm not saying it's good to have a lot of friends, but to be very focused on quality. And there's going to be a lot of social transformation, and this year is going to be a test of faith. But we do have spirit and angels to guide us, and ask for the protection of God, follow the lead of the ascended master that guide you, your master guide or whatever master. And therefore, I'm very glad I'm not an atheist in those times, because it is the return of God on the planet. And the atheist, although God is merciful and understanding of where anybody is at, but it is good to have a faith, to have this faith. And so the inner change is going to be about the inner change this year. This inner change is going to create a transformation on the outer world, but it has to happen within first. Cannot expect the outer change until we make some change inside. For life is just a mirror. And so it is about harvest time as well. Each will receive what they sow, what they've been sowing, the cause and the effect. So because time is accelerated, so cause and effect is going to come closer and closer and closer and closer until there will be no more separation. For there is time portals that have been created, like 11, 11, 12, 12, New Year's, Christmas. Those are time portals that are created that spirits put more energy, because human consciousness is focalized on those time portals to accelerate and create positive egregores. um, Aspiration to truth, freedom, joy, happiness, all those good things. But in a sense, it's all about here and now. It's every moment, every day, every moment that we need to work on. For the physical world, it's just a shell. It's a facade. It just doesn't. It does not. It's the truth can only be found within the inner arts, the inner self. And so the facade will continue to do its things. It is a great show, a great spectacle that the whole universe was created as a field of experience. For it is good to do good to others, but when you do good to others, try to always come from the heart. It's better to give something small from the heart than to give something big from the mind. I was really criticized a few years ago when I talked about in one of my video, to say that there are celebrities or whatever that makes those big press conference and say, look how great I am a great guy because I'm giving a lot of money to this or that. And I was saying it's publicity for the ego. When you do something good, you don't need to publicize it. It's purely mental. If they do come from the heart, it does have an effect. But if it does purely from the mind, it has no effect whatsoever. It is pure, just part of the facade. And so just everybody's got a heart. We need to purify a heart and come from the heart, and that's where the impact is given. The impact is felt, let's say. So for it is important to look at all our imperfection, all our everything that's not in alignment, everything that's our weakness, our shortcomings. It is important to make a list of it. Ask your higher self, what is the priority for we? Everybody's got things to work on, and some people will not admit it, but we all have things to work on. And so it is important to ask your higher self, what is your priorities to make this progress, and from the soul perspective, what it needs to be addressed first. and try to implement it. For we need to put an end to the old cycle. We have no more need for any sorts of karma. God has forgiven us, so let go of the old way. For spirit is above matter and transcends matter. For we're living in a society that's living in the shadow and the darkness, but it's unaware of its darkness. It believes that it is in the light, but it is not at all. So it is. So we want to bring the light into the shadows, into the darkness, and sometimes we're confronted with people and situations that are believing so much in their problems, and since we are one, we are impacted by their beliefs, and they're solidifying, and they make it real, and they make it bigger. So it is important to learn to let go of that, to return, to find this. We want to assist, but we need to find this, to always find to regain our serenity, our peace. For peace is very essential. It is really what we seek, but we need to let go of everything in order to find that peace, to let go of all this cosmic drama. That's quite quite an illusion in truth, but it makes, as we believe it, it makes it real, and we have made this collective agreement to participate in this experience. And the highest wisdom is the thinker. The thinker, it's all about having some plans, having some for we need to balance out the physical, mental, physical reality with the heart eternal stillness. But we need to be ready to have some plans for the unfoldments that are coming, for what is important to us in relationship to our life, and that is confirmed by this card. It's about chopping woods, that we need to understand. Chopping woods is about getting ready so that we are prepared for that which is coming. What we need to do is breathing in and out, breathing the light of God, the prana. Just be conscious when you breathe, envision this light that fills in your body, and this light that ask that the light be sparked, that be increased within all your cells, and the outcome will be peace. So it's quite wonderful. For there is nothing more precious than peace of mind. There is many. We need to ask counsel, to ask spirit for counsels often. It's a right we have. It's not an obligation, but we have guides that are quite wise. There's the archangels, the ascended masters, and there is a group that is called the Melchizedek Brotherhood. They have the seniority. They have seniority in relationship to this local universe. They are the teachers of heaven, and they're always good counsel. You can ask them. You will see. You will receive answers. When I asked guidance for this morning for the Melchizedek, they said to talk, to speak, to come and speak here. So I came to speak about silence, in a sense, because that is really the challenge, is to move into the great silence, the great void. For the Buddha discovered the nirvana, which is true void. But he also find that there are 18 kinds of different voids. For all the void is the form. And there's this great void that wasn't even invoked by Buddhist teachings. That is called would call that the void of void. It is a sacred sphere of light that includes all things. It is what God consciousness. It includes the nirvana and the samsara in the same time. The world of form and change and transformation, and the world of eternal stillness and peace. So it is important to be able to because the outer world is just it's so absurd. It's so absurd. So it's important to balance it out with the self-discovery of the truth, and to be in the contemplative state of the show. For we existed before the world of form, and will exist after the world of form, before the creation of the universe, and after the creation of the universe. For the destiny and the origin is the same thing. When we ascend, we return to the place where we left. And so, but we will always return as more than we were when we left, because we accumulated experience and wisdom. For it is not pleasant to let go of that. This internal shift is not always pleasant, because we need to come to peace with letting go of certain things we've been attached to. So it's about remembering the agape. Agape is the total acceptation and beingness in the divine love. But we need to mirror this agape into the sacred void inside, rather than to the resonance of the world. Sometimes it is important to anchor it into the outside world, but to always remember that we have this silence, the void inside. And for the truth can only be known by self-revelation. It can never be expressed, but it can be experienced. It can be. We need to return to this permanence. For we came into incarnation to break free from the limitation of the perfection of the spiritual world. For we are living in this eternal perfection of the world, and this is really what we need to reintegrate now with incarnation. But it's like it was so perfect, this etheric world, that it was a limitation in itself. So we chose to participate in this grand universal experience, to break free of that limitation and to be able to integrate more of that which is the experience of life. It's important to continue to do meditation. For there are guided meditation that I recommend from the Archangel Michael, for instance, or the Ascended Master that presents those great meditation. They take you into realm, inner planes. Or we can also do creative meditation when we gather together in group with a specific intention to teleport our consciousness into other dimensions. But in truth, meditation is about. I came in contact with the teaching of someone that was recommended to me because your teachings are very similar. I didn't have a chance to look into it. His name is Michael Ivanov. He was a mystic from Bulgaria, who was deceased in '86, but he continued to channel. And I haven't read his books, but his great wisdom, of course, is like we are very similar in what we seek to anchor into the world, and his teaching were very much aligned with one of my first painting in 1989. It was a piece of wood, and the words were from the Buddha. It says, in the meditation, do not meditate, do not think, do not expect anything. Just keep your mind in the most pure form. The attention without distraction is the path followed by all Buddhas. It is not about meditating. It is not about seeking to elevate our vibration. It is not about seeking to feel love. It is not about seeking true meditation. It's just about just being in the non-resistance of no energy, just to let go of all things, and then from there there is something that happens that is quite natural. So it allows us to. It's about letting go, to know what are we in resistance with. To return to the states that we were before creation, and that will be after creation. There is no more need for forms of dimensions, but just a state of beingness, the state of agape, the state of samadhi. It's about entering into the silence beyond the mind. For we always be returned to some kind of development. There will never be an end to our development, but to continue to cultivate this inner silence, the inner void. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I thank you very much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Continue to cultivate this. Don't forget to return to this inner peace, to continue to cultivate your connection to your center. And I'm going to finish with a song. It's a song it's a very spiritual song from the 70s for a lot of musicians and painters and artists and poets and philosophers. Have been the anchoring ideas before they come into the collective consciousness. They are a lot of visionary. And this song is pretty visionary. It's from Led Zeppelin, band named Led Zeppelin. It's called Stairway to Heaven. It goes like this. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came here for. Ooh, it makes me wonder. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiving. Ooh, it makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voice of those who stand looking. Ooh, it really makes me wonder, and it whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason, and a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forest will echo with laughter. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. And it makes me wonder. Your head is humming and it won't go in case you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind? And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our soul, there walks a lady we all know, who shines white light and wants to show how everything still turns to gold. And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last, when all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. Great powerful song, yeah? Great powerful. There's a lot of spiritual keys and codes in this song. It's quite poetic as well. I'm going to pull one more card. I come and talk about the silence and the necessity to accept, to enter into this great sacred divine void. That's where the truth can be felt and revealed. And it's all about the revelation today. The Archangel Raziel, joy through spiritual fulfillment, to enlighten the path of someone, finding your answers through the answer to your question through meditation. So continue to share your light. It is the card of the hermit. It is but to know that the answer comes within the void, within the silence. For the master of wisdom, Thoth says the silence is the great prophet. It is from where all the truths are being revealed, from within the silence. There are always watchers. There are always silent watchers within reality. Even on the higher planes, there is always higher watchers that are watching the watchers. And so it's about opening our consciousness to this agape, to this magic and miracle, to the abundance of the spiritual realm through the state of peace. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Adonai.